Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Rock the Mic. I am your host, Garfield Waller. Today we have a very interesting topic and even more interesting people who we're interviewing. Guys, with COVID, our 2020 has been wrecked. And before this disease hit, many Jamaicans were looking into the business of Airbnb. In fact, we had such a booming tourist economy that many Jamaicans dipped their feet into the business. But with COVID, it has put a real damper on things. Tonight, my guests are people who run an Airbnb in Jamaica. And we know right now business is down, but I think it's an ideal time to talk about this in the event that business comes back up this year. We just want to try and find out what this Airbnb business is all about. What does it take to operate one? The struggles and triumphs they have had. Because it may help a few other people who may want to get into this business when the pandemic lifts. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me give a warm Rock the Mic welcome to Garfield and Donna Hunt. Here they are. Mr. and Mrs. Hunt, good day, good day, good day. How are you?
We're fine.
Hi,
Thanks.
we're fine. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for coming on the program. Generally, guys, listen, husbands and wife don't really work well together. How do you how do you happen to make this work? What is it that makes it work for you guys?
I think, firstly, we had talking about being in business together. It has its ups and downs. It has its pros and cons. It's good when you have that support who is a partner to help you along the way, especially when you encounter different challenges in the industry. So we can always bounce ideas off each other.
Of each other?
Versus,
Okay.
one of us being in the industry and the other doesn't have any knowledge. So when we ventured out into starting a bed and breakfast 3 years ago, we both had that passion for traveling across Jamaica, sharing our weekends out there across the island, and we enjoyed meeting people.
Okay.
We met other tourists at the different properties that we stayed, and so our love for the hospitality industry grew. And then we decided that we needed another business, and so we ventured out into offering bed and breakfast services, which is an extension of the larger hospitality business that is out there.
Plus, my dad, as always, my dad is a taxi operator.
Okay.
So he's been in the transportation tourism sector for maybe about 40, 50 years.
Wow.
At different intervals, I've had to basically step up and assist him. I remember once he was sick for a couple of years. I actually took over the business for him during that time as well. So I have a little background as it relates to tourism
Okay.
as well.
Okay, so you got in at ground zero. Donna, what experience did you have in the hotel industry or the hospitality industry?
We had no experience except that we would travel across Jamaica, stayed at our thing was that we didn't stay at larger chain hotels a lot. We stayed at the
Okay.
small little huts, the little bed and breakfasts across the island. And we just noted in instances where we got excellent service and some cases where we got very poor service. And then arising from that, we found a lot of persons who were on our Facebook page from back in the day. They would message us asking, where places to stay, where to go, what to do. They had persons coming from overseas wanting places to stay in Jamaica. And as I said, Garfield had his prior experience. I just had a love and passion for serving, and serving with giving excellent service. And as so we put both together, and then we decided that we're going to venture out and offer the best bed and breakfast that there is to find in Kingston and in Ocho Rios later on when we open a second location.
All right. So let me ask you. I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. Garfield, this may put you in trouble. Who is the boss?
It depends.
Smart man. Okay, so guys, so I understand you guys have two locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Would you mind telling me where they are?
We have one location in
Barbican.
Barbican in Kingston.
And
Barbican,
one
The other one in Ocho Rios.
Ocho Rios. Turtle Towers. Okay, yeah, I remember as a youngster, I won't tell you how many years back, staying sometime in Turtle Towers. But guys, listen, apart from the love of the hospitality industry, what made you decide to get in business for yourself rather than go work at a hotel, which would have been less stress for you? Is it just a love or the money?
Yeah, it's a little of both, you know. You don't get into business for the fun of it. You get into business to make money.
To make the money. Mhm.
You know, so that is a very and the investment is large. So you don't play around for fun.
With your money, right?
So we it's a little, and as I said, we like meeting people. You know, and customer service is very big for us, and we felt that a lot of the places that we stayed, and I'm sure persons can relate when you're in Jamaica, that customer service overall in Jamaica sucks.
So that's true. I didn't want to say it, but it's true.
Very few places you can really go and get good or excellent customer service. So we decided from that we wanted to have our own business, and we want to offer excellent customer service.
And working for someone would not give us the leverage that we wanted and the flexibility and the ability to what we envision. We would not be able to easily, you know,
Achieve that
working for someone.
somebody else. Oh,
And,
okay.
we are natural entrepreneurs. I mean, we like getting out there, getting our hands dirty, starting a business, working it from the back end straight up. So then working for someone in the hospitality industry was not an option. Definitely not for me, and definitely not for Garfield.
All right, good. So guys, before COVID, what was your occupancy rate like? Were you fully booked up or what?
It depends. It depends on the season because, as I said, we have been in business for 3 years. March coming would have made 3 years. Actually, 4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
And what you find is that when you just get into the business, it takes a while for you to build up your clientele.
Yep.
So just as when COVID hit in 2019, we were just 2019, November 2019. That's when everything started happening outside of Jamaica. It started rippling coming across. So I would say from 2019, we would have then built up enough clientele and repeat guests and guests who would have friends. So much that for 2020, our occupancy rate, when we hit January 12, 2020, our occupancy rate up until about August would have been 85, about 80 to 85%.
Okay, wow.
We were pretty much booked, solid. Persons were coming from all across the world, repeat persons who had stayed with us several times.
Oh, so you have several repeat customers.
We always, even now during COVID, they still keep in touch with us from different parts of the world. You know, they check on us, we check on them because we have built such a friendship, a relationship. We're a family. Like we say, once you stay here, you're no family. You know, we are responsible for you when you come back to Jamaica. And even if you don't want to stay with us again, let us help you and guide you as to where else you could stay so you could have another experience with someone else. So the occupancy rate was pretty much growing for us for us to have had a better year in 2020 until COVID hit.
All right. Now, let me ask you this. Why would a visitor choose to stay with you instead of a big hotel? Make that case for me.
We offer personalized service in terms of we are the middleman between the big hotels and the small, what I would call maybe a motel. There's a difference, and motel does not really mean a sex shop, because you have persons here who offer that kind of motel kind of feeling where it's not the cleanliness and the attention to detail is not there, but the price is right for a backpacker who just wants somewhere safe to rest their head and hit the road. No, this is right in the smack in the middle of that, where our prices were as low as $50 per night for double occupancy, and you get a full Jamaican breakfast with that every morning. Or personalized service, we had persons who were there 24 hours. We had taxi services that whenever you want to go somewhere, a call of a button, we had a taxi there to take you where you want to go. We help you plan your tours. So
there's always a staff.
24-hour staff. Staff is
okay. Really? Because I was under the impression that all you provided was just the place to sleep and maybe a kitchenette.
And that's where we're going to define. That's where we're going to define between our bed and breakfast and what persons would loosely use the terminology Airbnb. And we know that Airbnb is somewhere you rent somebody's place to stay. You go online and you see it, you like it, you send them a message that you're interested and they can accept, or you can book right away. Now, for the Airbnb industry, most places you're there alone. So you rent an apartment or a one-bedroom apartment, you rent a house, whatever it is they're offering, you're there alone. The owner of that property leave guidance, instructions, print out sheets, where's the Wi-Fi, or a booklet how to get around, or where's the nearest store, little information for you, but pretty much you're on your own.
And house rules.
And house rules as well.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
It's a bed and breakfast. We have someone there 24 hours. You pay your rental for your room, which has your bed, bedside table, your television, your closet, and your bathroom. The kitchen area, and there's a kitchenette there for you to utilize with other guests. And it's not a big bed and breakfast. So it's like when you're with us at these, especially in Kingston, it's more like you're home with family. Because the staff that is there, they're trained to ensure that at the end of the day, the guest who is just visiting Jamaica for the first time does not feel intimidated, or they don't feel alone. They feel as if they're coming to Jamaica to stay with a family member who they have never met before. And that is what we offered at these.
And what we wanted, let me just interject real quick. We wanted to offer a service as well, although it's a bed and breakfast. But you feel as if, I just checked into a local hotel. So what you find is that some of the things that we offer, for example, guests have unlimited tea, whatever it is you basically want.
Yeah, coffee,
tea, that sort of thing.
It's a coffee station. They got robes.
They got robes.
Rooms. You have your robes.
Oh, you're first class.
Toiletries are free, So there are stuff like that we little amenities that we had it, because don't get us wrong, or little bed and breakfast or / Airbnb, as some persons would put it, we had limitations. Like, for instance, there's no swimming pool in Kingston. But we find that backpackers, persons from certain parts of the world, would gravitate to the services that we offer, because as Garfield explained, it's like a mini giant hotel in a little a little space.
All right.
We didn't have a pool, but we had a beautiful garden around the back.
Yeah, a beautiful backyard. That was really set up for lounge.
Where you could go and lounge, Wi-Fi access.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Garfield and Dee Hunt. This couple run Airbnb services in Jamaica, and guys, they sound first class. You're gonna have to go check them out. Now that you mentioned the words bread and breakfast, you guys making me hungry. Now, if I were to come to stay with you guys on a typical morning, what would my breakfast be like?
All right, we can tell you what we did. We had a menu. So in your room, you would have a menu card from Sunday to Saturday. You know what we serve for breakfast, and prior to you coming, each day. And prior to you coming, part of our messaging services would be asking if you have any special needs. Because you have some vegetarians, some people are vegan, they don't eat this, they don't eat that. We'd ask those questions. And therefore, that will allow us to prepare ahead of time so that when you get there, there's something for you to have. Some persons say, oh, I'm just staying one night. I'll have some fruits in the morning. And for breakfast, a typical day, you'll get fruits. You get ackee and saltfish, boiled banana, boiled.
All right, stop. I'm coming.
You also get a wine glass with orange juice or pineapple juice, and you get your coffee and tea.
Okay, the average guest from overseas, do you find them wanting the American style breakfast or the local food?
Very few want the American style. We have
okay.
who expected to get like bacon and cereal and stuff like that. But when we do explain to them that these are stuff that you would travel in hotels and get from your end. We're here to offer an authentic Jamaican experience where you have a full Jamaican breakfast before you hit the road.
All right. Now, Donna and Garfield, another question here, very important one. Is the Airbnb industry in Jamaica, is it regulated or can anybody just go and set up one? How does it go?
All right. Firstly, before you even considering opening an Airbnb, it's best that you have prior knowledge of the industry and how it operates. What are the services out there being offered, and what services do you plan on offering? It's not, as far as we know, it is not fully regulated.
Okay.
Tourism industry, they're trying to get it regulated because, as you are aware, there are a lot of persons who, it takes you a second to get into the industry because it's there. Airbnb, the website, booking.com, they just welcome you with open arms. It's like a 5-minute registration. Put up your pictures, put up this, put up that, and you're ready to go. So it's not fully regulated because anyone can get on. But in order for you to ensure that you are compliant, it's best for you to step back, get on the TPDECO site, read up and find out more about how is it that you can go about getting to this industry. Because it's quick to get in, but it's quick for it to kick you out as well. To kick you out,
okay. All right.
Business, it operates on a review system.
Okay. Stick a pin. Those reviews I see, reviews for different hotels, are they legit or is it something that the hotelier puts up himself? Because most companies you see all good reviews.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It depends on the search engine that you're using. All right. We were on platform, when I say were, because of COVID now, we are currently closed. So when I use the terminology were, it's because since last year, June, we have closed both locations. No one is coming.
Right, I understand that.
Right now, it's at a standstill. People are still moving, but not enough to keep a viable business.
To keep it right, okay.
So, reviews.
Yeah.
They can make you or break you. Make you or break you. We have had instances where we ended up being overbooked, and guests would arrive, and we have to find somewhere to put them. And they're telling us, listen, I am here to stay at these. You better find a room. And we're saying, no, man. This is our sister, partnership place, XYZ. We'll be taking care. No, we're not going anywhere. We saw the reviews and we're here. But there's no room because we have other guests who just extended their stay and decided they're not going to leave. What do? You can't kick off the door and put them out, which we never do that. But you try and reach the in guests as best as possible. And most times you don't get them because they're traveling. So when that guest is upset now and they have to go somewhere else, they get on whichever platform they book and they write a review. Most times, 90% of the time in a situation like that, it's a very bad review.
It's a very bad review.
No, that goes against you. In terms of persons will say, hey, we book, they came, no space. Should we really book and go there? Because I've now seen one person, two persons who arrived and there is no space. Having no space doesn't mean that you're a hotbread. The traveler can say, I don't want to be the one without a bed, so I'm not going chances and go there, I'll go somewhere else. No, Booking.com collects reviews from every single guest that books through their portal. And it keeps reminding them, write the review, rate this place, and it asks a series of questions. And some questions, how was your experience overall? How was the bed? How was the food? How was the customer service?
Yeah,
was the
already.
Goes down to a miracle. So at the end of the day, when somebody goes online who has never been to Jamaica and type in Kingston, Jamaica, you want to rate at the top.
At the top, right.
The first page that props up. And in order to stay on that page, and it even goes the same way for Airbnb, you have to ensure that at all times you are close to a 5-star, 4.5, if not 5, when your rating is constantly revalued.
All right. So let me ask you this now. Let's say a guest stays with you guys and isn't satisfied. What do you do? Do you try to rectify things or what? How do you go about it?
We always do. It comes back to, for example, if the guest is going to be here for a prolonged period, because sometimes you have a guest that are in transit. Sometimes they're in Kingston and they're going to Portland, but then they'll be back to Kingston again and then they go to the airport, that sort of thing. What we try and do, we say, all right, we'll give you a free night stay. So when you're coming back, so we have, for each situation, we have a customer recovery.
Okay, good. Okay.
Because our aim is customer retention.
Right.
Customer retention. Okay, good.
Customer retention.
Right.
We aim to please.
So we can either give you a free night just for that one night, or we can give you a 50% discount. That's that sort of thing. Or next, if it's a situation where you're on your next vacation, just let us know. We'll arrange something.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dee and Garfield here, owners of Airbnb in Ocherius and in Kingston. A very engaging couple. And these entrepreneurs seem to be on the cutting edge. But COVID has put a damper on their business. So guys, when you talk about local guests versus overseas guests, who give the most problems? Be honest.
Local guests.
Local. Why do you think that is so?
Local guests, they tend to be very picky. A lot of times they
don't read.
They don't read.
They don't read the offerings.
Right, and when they come to our bed and breakfast, they're expecting it to be as if they're staying at Sandals or
Ritz-Carlton,
all-inclusive resort.
Okay,
and that's just not the case.
Because what we do, we ensure that we only advertise what we have to offer.
Yeah, okay, that's a big thing. Yep.
Pool at that property, we do not put up a picture of any water outside because the guest will assume it is a pool.
It's a pool.
We find that the overseas guests, they will tend to read more before they book. What is it? Where are you located? How close are you to? I can tell you the Bob Marley Museum, Devon House, you have certain specific locations they look for.
They want it, okay.
They will read upon that. The local guests now, they will just look, $50 a night, 2 a week, free breakfast, book it. And then when they come, but we have had a lot of those persons who have booked, and when they come, they're like, okay, yeah, it looked like the picture, but. And we have converted them into persons who come and stay all the time.
Okay.
They'll message, hi, Miss D, do you have any space for Friday night? My friend's coming into Kingston. We want to spend a one night. Can we get the quad room? So we have converted a lot of locals who didn't really,
And Jamaicans, they love the belly. A lot of times.
So the food's got to be good. The food has to be
enough.
Okay.
But
All
it's
right.
true. And you get a lot of food. You really do get a lot of food.
The balance is relative.
No, you're tempting me to come as soon as COVID is done. All right. Now, guys, do you, for example, in Ocho with the local attractions around like Dunn's River and all these places, how do you service the guests? Do you guys, as an Airbnb, get tickets at a discount for them, or what? How do you do it?
We not really. We were in the process of setting up something in place. We refer to it as a
DEEZ, that was the name of the business, Deez by the breakfast. That is, because it's still existing. And we were looking about a discount card.
Right.
Okay.
And this card now, you will have different merchants that we work with. And once you present the card,
Okay.
then you will, qualify for a discount or whatever it is. It's up to the merchant what they want to do.
It's up to the merchant. Okay. Good. Okay.
How much discount they want. So we had a few stores in Ocho Rios and Kingston that came on board, and then
what we do in Ocho Rios is for guests, especially if they're staying for more than one night, they anywhere in and around the town where they want to go to Dunn's River or Dolphin Cove, we actually offer a service where we drop off and pick them up.
What about to the airport?
No, they have to pay for the airport.
They have to the airport. Oh my God, you guys so top of the line, man.
Once you're there, once it's in and around the town, you want to go in the town to do a little shopping, we will drop you off. We'll set a time and we'll pick you back up. What about security? In Ocho Rios, we have security around
on the property.
On the property, okay.
In Kingston, we did have security as well while we were open.
Right.
There are security there. It's necessary for you to prepare for something to happen rather than react when it happens.
Rather than wait it happen.
We want our guests to feel extremely safe while they're there. So therefore, we made sure we put these things in place so that when the guests come, they feel relaxed rather than worrying about, should I do this, leave that? What time can I go, come? Is it safe for me to walk here, do that?
Okay.
So we try to think ahead and see how best with the limitations we have, or we can.
And we always advise our guests, anywhere you go, you cannot be 100% safe.
Be vigilant.
You have to be vigilant. You have to be aware of your surroundings and that sort of thing. So we give them advice in terms of places they try to stay away from, areas.
All right.
And that sort of thing. If a person should approach them, how best to handle a situation.
And even for some of our guests, majority, all of our guests who are traveling here for the first time, because that is part of the conversation. Our staff, they're trained to ask. It's your first time, and from the moment you book, our wonderful property manager Marcy would engage them. Is it your first time coming to Jamaica? Have you been here before? What do you know about Jamaica? About getting around. When they come on properties, the same questions we ask. Do you know anyone in Jamaica? Because at the same time, we have to remember that we live in a world where people will encourage others to come so that they can take advantage of them.
Okay.
We try our best to make sure that at the end of the day, when a guest stays with us, they're not putting themselves in a situation where they're going to leave the property, go to somewhere unknown to them to meet someone they may have met on the internet and put themselves in harm's way. I mean, we can't protect everybody, but at least we can be that person to talk with them and say, hey, okay, what do you plan to do today? Where are you going to go?
Where are you going?
Do you need assistance? When they're leaving, ask, okay, guys, they will say, okay, remember we leave tomorrow, Miss D. So, okay, where do you move on to next? Oh, we're going to St. Elizabeth. Where in St. Elizabeth are you going to stay? Have you confirmed your booking? Who is the contact person? And then sometimes you find that we end up arranging a taxi service.
Stuff, okay.
And these taxi services are not our personal taxi service, but they're persons who we have engaged, who have the documentation because we ask for copies. We only have 2 taxi services in Kingston, and we have copies, so we know they are registered taxi service, legit taxi services. And we would say, okay, Michael, or do we have a guest who wants to go to St. Elizabeth? What's your best price? And they would give us a price. We say, okay, and they would take the guest to that location, and they would call the guest. Would call and say, "Hi, Miss D,
I've
we're
reached.
here now.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
so much." So we offer that kind of,
We've had situations where I've personally offered that and done that. I've taken a few persons to Treasure Beach from Kingston, and I get to meet the host there, so I basically bring them and just
hand them over.
hand them over.
And then move.
And they really appreciate stuff like that.
You have guests who want to take the public transportation. So like when we were when we had that guest in Ochi, they were moving on to Portland and they wanted to take the bus. And I'm like, okay, you want the bus experience? Okay, let me make 2 calls. And we just called up a bus operator who we knew, who contacted another bus operator who applied the Ochi to Portland route, and he came right at the doorstep with the regular minibus to pick up our guests.
Pick them up. Oh my God, that must have been fantastic experience.
He came out and packed the bags in the back, and then he went to the bus park and he loaded up, and the guests got to Portland and they called us and Miss D, we're here. Thank you.
Okay, good.
So we try to, to offer that kind of service, so guests don't feel alone. While they're traveling, because we have traveled before, and I mean,
Yeah, it can be a frightening experience.
we don't know one word in Spanish. but Pablo helped us, and we had what is supposed to be chicken and rice and beans, and we had a wonderful time. But we don't speak English, and he really, truly, he helped with the little English he had. So we wanted to offer something like that.
All right. With the proliferation, this is before COVID. With the proliferation of bed and breakfast all over the island, do you find sometimes that there are people out there who operate these, I don't want to say fly-by-night places, who end up giving the industry a bad name? Do you find that?
All the time. In every industry, you're going to find people who just see it, say, okay, I can make some money, and it just pops right up. And that is what the review system does. It helps to filter out those persons who are non-performing.
Who are not serious.
Non-performing. Persons will know to stay clear of.
Stay clear of those.
Breakfast. And that is why, as I said, the review system, you had asked a question if these top hotels, pay people to write. Of course, I don't think they pay them, but they're persons who, outside of us in Jamaica, when we got into this business, it was then we realized the importance of reviews. Because we have seen places before, and they ask for a review, or you see it pop up in like, can't bother. Let's review for what? The food is nice, somebody sleep on it, can't bother. But then when we got into the industry, we went on TripAdvisor and we went on other platforms, and we're like, rotted, if we now perform at a 4.55, we're not going to rank, we're not getting a guess.
Okay, good.
Forces us to ensure that, listen, when these rooms are cleaned, they better be clean. When these linens are washed, these towels are washed. We have had guests who said to us, hey guys, you need to step it up on the fabric softener for the towels. They're a little bit coarse. Okay. Yes, guests will tell you straight up to your face. And we're like, okay, Garfield, we change the fabric softener. We need to switch it back around because obviously this one isn't working because the guest said something. The guest said something about that. So for those fly-by-nights that you mentioned, the system automatically takes care of them by
the system weeds them out. Okay.
System, and I can tell you, if you have 10 overseas guests, you are going to find that 8 of them leave you a review. The other 2 may be busy traveling, but bet you when they're settled in and that email pops right back up again, they are going to leave your review, and that review will be make it or break it for you.
And with everybody on the cell phone now, they can just do it on the cell phone.
Right away, before the evening. Some people write at breakfast, they write the review.
Breakfast.
Sometimes the review pop in and you see a 9, or you see a 8, or you see a 5, or you see a 7, and you will say, oh my, this guest had a big problem. It's not really a big problem, but in your mind you say, whoa, big problem. And you read the review, and you call a location, you say, Marcy, I see a review coming from guest in number two. Yes, Miss D, is the guest still there? Yes, the guest is there. All right, tell you what, the guest is at breakfast or what? She's at breakfast, he's at breakfast. All right. When you're finished coming back, I would like to have a one-on-one conversation with the guest,
Wow,
because
you do that?
one thing you must never
Wow.
do. No, one thing you must never do. You don't argue with your guest about their review.
Okay.
No. Because the guest opinion is the guest opinion.
Right.
What you can do is, if there's something that needs to be explained a little bit more, you can explain, but you can never argue with a guest. It kills your business.
Right.
And you must never ever ask a guest to change their review. Never.
We've had guests
Never.
come and stay with us because of a bad review, and how we handled it.
And how we handle the
we
bad
responded
review.
to
Oh, okay. Wow, that is good. I wish some of the big chains could take a few lessons from you. Now, talking about the big chains, the big hotels, how do they view you guys? Do they see you guys as competition or being?
We're nobody.
You're nobody. To them, you're small fry, huh?
We're small fries, but they know we're plenty, so they know we must be eating into their bottom line. But we're still small fries.
Any plans? You guys sound very forward thinking. Any plans for you guys to form an association? No, seriously. I know. Once I look at you, Donna, I can tell it went through your head at some time, right?
It did. But wow.
I have
For such a widely informal sector in this industry, it's going to take a
It's gonna
lot.
take a lot.
PPD can't do it. And they have the backing of the government.
Okay.
They can't get it under one umbrella.
Umbrella.
That's going to take a lot of work.
let me tell you what, from my experience on a different level, different industry altogether. I used to be a farmer, and I'm still a part of a farming community, and working with groups is one of the hardest things
True. You are right, man.
of persons always doing the same thing. You might have a group of 100 people, and you have 10 persons, the same 10 persons, always doing everything. And
Okay.
then the rest of the 90 expect to still get the full benefit.
Full benefits. Okay. Yeah.
And when you ask persons to do this or volunteer, nobody wants to do it. It's always the same 10.
And it's not even about that, though, Garfield. It's about regulating an industry where the overseas market makes it so easy for persons to get into the industry.
Okay, I see.
Because that's where it has to start from, where the government has to implement certain requirements where persons have to use, just like getting into the travel agency business, you need an IATA number.
Right.
No, in order to get it, there are certain requirements.
Requirements
in
that you
order
must
to
meet.
get
Some
that.
criteria.
So you have to register your business, you have to open a No, at the end of the day, if the overseas companies were requesting business registration documents,
Okay, good.
then persons would more think, can I really get into this industry? Can I open a business bank account? Do I have what it takes to actually run a business with and doing financials and all of these things? But as it is now, they're not held accountable. So therefore, jumping in and out at their own will, it's not so easy to regulate. It's going to take a lot.
It's going to take a lot.
A lot of regulations in order to get people compliant.
Okay, so with COVID on now, and you guys have a lot of downtime, I guess you guys must be really planning on that comeback when this thing is over. Do you have any plans to, if the market allows, do you have any plans to expand? Say in other areas. You're just in Ocheries and Kingston right now. Do you have any
Yes.
plans to go, say, Mobe, St. Elizabeth?
Well, instead of expanding our current offerings in terms of locations, what we had planned prior to and would explore after is partnering with other small bed and breakfast so that
Oh,
we can all share a piece of the pie. Where
okay.
you would book your travel, book your stay through these, but then we are connected to
To
other
others.
small
Okay.
hotels, other areas that offer.
That's what I was getting at when I was saying, come together. Okay.
It, it's not about building several chains of the same property to say, oh, we have a chain of this
Okay.
this type bed and breakfast.
The logistics is very hard.
But the logistics is very hard in terms of staffing and maintenance and keeping your business at a certain level, welcoming for guests. And if there are other persons out there who have a similar size property, it's best if we partner with them so that
If you
we can
partner,
all
good.
share a piece of the pie. And persons can have different experience because these experiences one, but another experience
Another,
is
okay.
a smaller property. It's another experience for them to have.
What about supplies? What about supplies like food, vegetables, fruits? How do you guys go about procuring these? Do you have specific vendors or you just go to the market and hit it up?
That kind of fall under my umbrella. I'm responsible for that aspect of it. I do all of the shopping.
Oh, okay.
For both locations, and so it's not that difficult.
It's not difficult. Okay.
I do have some farmers that I have a relationship with.
Okay. Yeah. You said you're in the farming business, right? Okay.
Right. So and then other stuff I go to the wholesale and get my stuff. And then, so we try to keep an excess at both locations. So whenever, your stock is running low, you have a minimum count.
You got to replenish.
Oh, Mr. Ellis, we're running low on this, we're running low on that. And then I will basically go ahead and supply.
Because we have certain days when we restock.
Right.
You have to. How many employees do you guys have? How many people do you have working with you?
We had 4 in Kingston and 4 in Ocho Rios. We had 8.
Oh, okay. Before COVID, which location did the lion's share of the business? Was it Ocho Rios?
Kingston location.
Kingston? Oh my God, I would have lost money on that bet.
Yes, we would have. We thought so too initially.
Oh my
but
God. Kingston. So what's the difference between your Kingston clientele and the Ocho Rios clientele? What's the main
Kingston
difference?
clientele, they are more wanting to experience the city life and more of Bob Marley going in the mountains kind of experience. Ocho Rios now is more for the outdoor adventures, the Duns River, the White River rafting kind of experience. So that's the difference between the clientele. The backpackers are more into the Kingston side of things.
Oh my God, I got it completely wrong.
Backpackers are more for Kingston, up in the mountains, back to us, and then they move on to either St. Elizabeth or Portland, not Ocho Rios.
I got it completely wrong. I thought your Ocho Rios place would be jam-packed and Kingston would be empty.
There are times when Kingston is full and Ocho Rios is empty.
Oh my
And
Lord.
the thing is, Ocho Rios is more of a seasonal
Yes.
thing as well.
Okay.
Then Kingston is pretty much year-round.
Year-round.
Because you have the person who is just coming to Kingston to do business, and they want something for the night, or for the weekend, or for whatever it is. So you have this range of persons in Kingston that you wouldn't really get.
Getting Ocho Rios. I got it completely wrong. No, in terms of overseas guests, where do you pull your majority from?
Germany.
What?
Germany, Honduras, Australia.
I couldn't do this tourist business because I get it wrong.
A few from UK, but US, yes, they're on the list. But I would say a majority of our guests they're from Europe. Yeah, from that side.
Oh my God! This has knocked me for a loop because I thought I would know this thing completely wrong. So it's time you guys learn another language, then, right?
It's
That
about time. We have had
it's
to
a,
use Google to
you,
kind of again.
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes.
like they say something, okay. What did he say? Okay, and you say, so
Or
yeah.
drawings.
Right now we have right now we have friends from on Facebook who speak Spanish, and there are whenever we post stuff, they comment. We just
they
translate
comment,
it
and you don't understand.
write it back to Google, and yeah, we're good. We're
that
friends. We're friends.
that
Germany.
is that is funny as heck. So if I were to stay with you guys now, if I were to come and stay with you guys, say after COVID, I'm guaranteed, and say I wanted to go visit family in, say, Portland, I would have to rent a car. You could arrange that for me,
Yes.
Yes, we don't offer car rental services.
but you could hook me up
What we do is we have aligned ourselves with
with.
persons, legitimate persons in the industry. Whereas, first of all, when you get to these bed and breakfast, we have a welcome book. There's one somewhere in the house. We have a welcome book which welcome you. For Kingston, it tells you a lot about Kingston, where you are on a Google map, which you can get it on your phone, where to eat, list of restaurants, list of everything you can think of that you may want to do. We have thought it out, and we put it in a welcome book. There are like, if you want to rent a car, the different persons that we have checked out, partnered with, they're in that booklet where you can, okay, let me call this place. And if you even don't want to make the call or can't make the call, because remember, when people travel, their phones not necessarily can
Yeah.
make local calls.
Right,
So
right.
they have access to a landline there through the receptionist where she can make a call on their behalf and set up and make arrangements for them. So we make sure we look out and say, hey, if I'm a traveler, from a traveler's perspective, what may be my needs when I get to Jamaica? And then we try to take it from there and partner with persons along that line. Food delivery services, we try to think as far as we can and put things in place. So when the guests come, it's already there, and we're not just trying to figure out how do we address these concerns or
All right.
get
Speaking from personal experience, if something goes wrong on your side, if something goes wrong on your side, does organizations like Booking.com, can they penalize you?
Yes.
Because I had an experience a year or so ago. I won't say the name of the place, but booked it on Booking.com. When I got there, they're telling me that, oh, they didn't get the funds and they want me to pay in cash right there at the counter before I even got my room. Complained like hell to Booking.com, and it took me a long time to get my money back because I decided that night I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to go find somewhere else. So I'd like to know, what does Booking.com do in a situation like that?
Well, for local residents, for us, small hospitality properties, Booking.com, we do not surcharge cards. We can request that you put a card on the account.
On the account, okay?
Should we have any eventualities, Booking.com would be the one to do the deductibles. Like, say, for instance, if you damage stuff, Booking.com could do that. No, when you book with us, it's when upon it depends. We have to find out whether you want to pay in advance for your stay or you pay upon arrival. And each has its pros and cons.
Right.
No, if you're a guest who decide to pay upon arrival, there's nothing we can do more than wait until you come. No, if we gamble and say this guest don't look like they're going to come, guess what? Somebody's here for the room. Give that person the room, because we tried from 2 days, 3 days, we email, we call, nobody's responding. I don't think this guest is coming, but boops, them reach. Give me up. What do? No, you have to find somewhere to put the guest, because the guest was booked to come to your property. And what the penalized, is there a penalization?
Not really.
What Booking.com will do now, should this guest contact them or The following morning, when the guests get the prompt, if it's a one-nighter to say, how was your stay at these? They can stay, wasn't accommodated because there was no space. Booking.com can say to this guest, okay, where did you stay? No, because people who travel a lot from overseas know this. When they get to you and you may not have a room and they don't and they can't stay, it's best if you find somewhere that is within the same price range. Spend it. Because if they leave and go to another property, let us say they pay $50 for the night, and they go out there and go find a property for $120 for the night. You know who going to pay the difference?
You.
Oh, you do.
Okay. We are going to pay the difference, and the difference is not up for discussion. The fact is that the guest booked to stay with you. You didn't have a room for the guest. The guest had to leave and go somewhere else. Therefore, you
stand the cost. Okay.
An extra $60. So at the end of the month, when you're invoiced, that $60 is added to your invoice. So in terms of penalizing, that is what happens.
That's what happens.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's becoming a little bit clearer. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Donna and Garfield. They are the proprietors of Air BnBs in Jamaica. And guys, they seem to run a first-class business. I've heard a lot about them. And as soon as COVID is done, you find your butt down there to stay with them. At the end of the interview, we'll have all their information at the end so you can get in touch with them. But Donna and Garfield, it's been a wonderful conversation. And
before we wrap it up, let me interject right there. Since
man, go ahead.
Advertisement moment going on. You know, we have traveled around Jamaica a lot. We have not covered everywhere in Jamaica. But we usually, on a Saturday, we get in the car and we drive us somewhere and we share it on our Facebook page or our Instagram page. We have had our bed and breakfast, which we have offered, you know, local stays for local guests and international travelers. Now, what we are getting into is travel agency. And that's why we spoke about, instead of expanding our brand, we want to partner with local companies, small hospitality companies, as well as the big chain hotels. Because let's face it, there are times I myself prefer to go to an all-inclusive because I don't want to think about nothing. I just want to eat, and I just want to sleep and drink until I'm drunk and my foot ends up. So we're starting our travel agency business. We're on. It's Jamaica JA Travel Club, Jamaica Travel Club on Instagram, JA Travel Club on Facebook. Just look out for us, follow us on Instagram, and stay tuned because we want to bring you good rates. That when you're coming to Jamaica, you don't say, boy, I don't really want to bed and breakfast now. At 2 years down, I lock up in the house. I want to lie down on the beach and spread out and just eat. We will have your back covered. If you're traveling on a budget, we're going to have your back covered, because what we're also going to do is that we're going to have a package group, different package groups, where you book once, you stay at 3 different hotels, 3 different bed and breakfast, 3 different places.
What?
And changes in this industry. So we're going to take us out of thinking, okay, where to stay in Portland, where to stay in Kingston, Moanga Mobile, where to stay in the Grill. We're going to take that out of your traveling.
That's very innovative. That is innovative, guys. This sounds like another interview. Listen, we are gonna do this again. I like you guys. I like you guys. And the person who told me about you told me that I would like you guys. You're very progressive, very forward thinking. And honestly, guys, when COVID is done, I am hoping the world beats a path to your door. In fact, with the service you offer, I know they will. And look out for me. Look out for me and my family. We'll be coming down. So, Donna and Garfield, I want to thank you so much. And I wish you all the best. And thanks for coming on with me. Rock the Mic wants to tell you, I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Same here.
So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you very, very much. Oh my God, it's been a pleasure. So peace out.
Okay.